Fit for Life Radio, episode number 77. Your hosts, the regular, boring Will.
And just the two of us.
How was that?
That was okay.
So yeah,
It probably
Gary and
sounded
Will,
better to us.
we're here today. We're going to talk about diet soda
Sweeteners.
and really just diet drinks, sweeteners in general.
Artificial.
It can be a topic that's trendy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, I notice, will, share very scary things about sweeteners, artificial
Yes.
sweeteners, and diet sodas, and all these claims. So we're going to dig in with some of this stuff and see what you should think about it all.
Yeah. What are the facts, Jack?
Yeah, what's the takeaway? So diet soda and sweeteners, when we say diet soda, it also
Just diet drinks.
diet drinks.
And diet Snapple, if you're into that kind of thing.
But we will actually have some interesting tidbits on soda and carbonated
Ooh.
beverages.
Why do we like them?
Pretty interesting. All right, so diet soda. A lot of people just think, I got to stop drinking. It can't be good for you, because you hear all these things about artificial sweeteners and they're not real, so they must wreak havoc on you.
Because they're artificial.
But there's a lot of natural, quote unquote, things that
Aren't good for you.
aren't good for you, right? So, like, if you overdid some psychedelic mushrooms,
People argue that might be good for you, but
or
it's okay.
some too much cocaine, right? All those
Cocaine,
things
yeah,
are plants,
Comes from a plant.
come from the
Cyanide
ground,
is
they're
just straight
natural.
poison.
Too much of them is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you could really say too much water.
Too much of anything.
Water's natural. Drink too much, you're dead. Too much, too fast.
So yeah, thinking that just because something's natural does not mean that it's good.
And that something's, first of all, everything is kind of natural
It is.
ultimately because you got to make it from something.
Yeah.
So really, if you just want to tune in for these first 5 minutes and then you hate us and you just want the facts, as with most anything, the answer is going to be moderation.
Yeah.
Probably is the best thing.
Don't drink 30 Diet Cokes in a day.
And there is no perfect universal diet for everyone. This stuff is not all or nothing.
No.
Right? You're going to find that it just depends.
Yeah. There's shades of gray. That's like, most answers come back to that when people ask questions. It's like, oh, well, it depends.
Yeah.
And it's not the most fun giving that as an answer, but
is drinking 30 diet sodas a day a great idea? Probably not.
Probably not.
Is drinking 1 or 2 diet sodas a day going to be a problem?
No.
Probably not. So take that as you will. But specifically, diet soda. So it's typically sugar, right? That's like what's in regular soda. But then people are trying to eliminate that. That's where diet sodas came about, to basically cut out the calories, because sugar is like drinking calories.
Yeah.
Which has led to, the processed food, processed drinks that are easily overconsumed is probably what's leading to the obesity epidemic and makes it easy to gain weight. And remember, a soda isn't just the artificial sweetener. It's also food colorings, flavors that are kind of concocted in a lab. So all these kind of can tie together to make them hyper palatable. Now, I would argue the good thing with like a diet soda that's 0 calories, it has these things you can almost use it to your advantage, and that you can maybe satisfy a sweet tooth and not be consuming calories. That personally is why I like to use them and find them enjoyable. So you're kind of leveraging this where we're at with food processing.
The ability to fake ourselves out, basically.
Yeah, and you can kind of use it to your advantage a little bit. So, and yeah, remember, if you want to be like, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just on a scale, most people aren't going to be like this. Is drinking 0 artificial sweeteners and 0 diet sodas hedging, probably the best hedge for 100%. You let me play it safe.
Yeah,
probably, right? But that also means you probably shouldn't be putting certain like lotions on your skin. You probably you would have to, if you want to.
You want to go that game.
You can't pick one little rabbit hole to go down of this like perfection kind of, and then not pinpoint a lot of other things in your life. If you're going to worry about that one little thing, it's a deep rabbit hole to go down.
Especially in like such a small amount, right? One a day.
Yep.
You know, like a toxic amount of, we were looking up, I think it was aspartame, ends up being like 30 sodas a day.
Yeah. And no, take that back. It's not even that they would even say that amount is toxic. It's just what they've tested. That's actually been an amount that's approved.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, I think it was like 3,000 milligrams of aspartame is safe for 100 and has been proven to be
that's a safe limit.
Safe for a 150-pound person. So
which is us.
There's like 80 milligrams in a Coke Zero.
Yeah.
So you'd have to drink like 30
to hit that, and then you got to go past that. Yeah. So just don't drink
and again,
50 sodas.
So if you want to draw a line there, but you can then start to say that about a lot of things, right?
Well, Again,
if you overdo water, if you overdo alcohol is one that, I mean, we've talked about before. Everyone ignores that. Literally a toxin. Proven that we know, like this, what it is. That's why we get alcoholic buzz, because it's our body trying to process it out. It can't keep up, and then you start to have those side effects. So, I mean, really, an easy thing is if you're going to worry about a little bit of artificial sweetener, you should also not be drinking alcohol.
Yes.
Because if you're going to go down that, kind of thing, you can also take out some vegetables, right? A lot of vegetables technically have toxic compounds.
Yeah, because they don't want to be eaten.
That eaten in large amounts can cause problems, right?
Yep.
So it's just, a slippery slope. And then even at that, there's really hasn't been any proven major research to come out and say that, like, there's a huge problem, right? Like scientifically, that they're causing anything, especially when you then start to pair it against stuff that's a known problem, like obesity, right? So where we think there's a net gain, so really if on the surface, if you're drinking regular sodas,
slamming,
and you
Cokes.
Cut them out and switch to diet sodas, and that helps you lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, basically get you into a healthy BMI. The net gain of being the healthy weight is proven, like the health benefits from that are so immense that if there was, and again, because it's not confirmed, if there possibly even was some negative effects from this artificial sweeteners, it's the net gain of
it way outweighs that.
Since those drinks helped you and maybe you enjoy them, they satisfy your sweet tooth and they help you maintain your new lower body composition, they're probably good for you, right?
Yeah.
Because we know the positives of being that leaner body weight. So that on a general surface sense is probably the main takeaway.
Yeah, just like a trade-off of, what are your goals and what's the bigger picture? Because that's what we lose a lot is the big picture. And we hyper focus on like one tiny little thing and lose, everything else, around our health.
Yep. And when we say artificial sweeteners, so some common ones are aspartame, sucralose, stevia, monk fruit extract. Those are going to be the common ones.
Monk fruit.
And I know for me, so when you do start drinking these drinks, there are little things you can notice. So one is also, some people argue on its effect on your gut biome, which, I mean, a lot of things can affect that. Stress can affect that. Known, I know me, artificial sweeteners don't bother me much. But if I drink too many carbonated beverages, it messes with my digestion, which is just probably from you're swallowing a lot of air.
Yeah.
But I notice if I drink a lot of those, fizzy beverages, I have digestive distress and things like that. So I limit them, or I prefer something like a Gatorade Zero, that's not carbonated. And I don't really have any issues with that.
I don't have any with like traditional ones, but dude, sugar alcohols, like in like gum or bro, they destroy me. Like I could have like, I don't know, sugar-free gum with a sugar alcohol in it, and my stomach's going to be upset in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, same here. Like
weirdest thing.
Halo Top has a lot of those, and it will mess me up. I think it's probably one of those things. If you ate them consistently, you might adapt.
Yeah, but I don't care enough to continue to eat them and deal with that. So I ain't gonna.
Mm-hmm. And so there's one theory with diet soda that you hear going around where people say, "Oh, it makes you addicted to sugar."
That's a strong word.
Yeah, because for one, we don't get addicted to sugar like we
No.
think. I mean, it's just a calorie dense thing. Our brain loves.
There's a reward aspect to it, but
our
it's
brain
not
loves
an
all
addiction.
calorie dense stuff.
Yeah.
So it signals off that thing. But look, if it was some like drug that we're addicted to, you would be going to the grocery store buying bags of Dominion sugar and just eating that straight
eating
up.
the sugar, and
you know, it was.
Not many people.
I've never seen anyone do that. Right?
I've seen one person. That's it.
And they've done studies, right? So they took aspartame, a couple of other sweeteners, overweight and obese subjects, and did controlled scientific studies. And ultimately, the conclusion of those studies was the desire to eat sweet foods was slightly lower.
Interesting. So basically, eating an artificial sweetener didn't make you want.
It
sweet
lowered
stuff.
their. So, honestly, in my experience, and we touched on it a little bit earlier, and with clients is it helps satisfy your sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're working to lose weight, you're in a calorie deficit, you're eating a lot of whole foods, and then you miss that kind of heightened feel, and then you get to kind of quench that sweet tooth with a non-calorie thing, which is going to be an advantage.
Yeah.
So
no, I found the same thing. Like I'm more likely to just like have it and be cool afterwards. Whereas if you have something hyper palatable like a donut or even like a regular soda, I feel like you're a little more likely to want something else afterwards. It gets the ball rolling.
Yep. And this could be like super individual. That's where,
Yes.
Like we talk about the way we do nutrition coaching. It's like a lot of this is just, you need to just be aware and journal and document these things and find out for yourself. You might be someone who you drink it and now it just sends you hog wild and you're like looking for more sweet stuff. So, you can't get mad and say, "Oh, you're wrong." It's, again, a lot of it's individual and you just have to learn and know these things.
Yeah, you got to self-assess.
But, so when you hear someone say that, you just can't go off the rails and believe them just because, right? Either way. But with studies that have been done, in general, most people, it seems to be, it actually helps satisfy their sweet tooth. So that kind of, leans that way with making that theory a little shaky. Another theory is that diet soda affects your hormones. A lot of people, the proposed kind of mechanism is that the sweeteners trick your body into thinking you're eating sugar. I've heard this before.
So you have an insulin response.
Yeah,
to it?
but even the insulin theory is kind of debunked, right? So it's not, you don't just gain weight because
your insulin's
being spiked. But that's the theory, is that you kind of eat the artificial sweetener, triggers your pancreas, you release the hormone insulin, and this signals your body to store fat.
Interesting.
They've, of course, done a study on this, and even if there's a small insulin spike, it's so small and hard to detect that it's, and look, we get an insulin spike when you eat almost anything.
Protein, whatever.
So, it's just, there's probably nothing there. It's just not how it works. And ultimately, it's definitely not going to overcome kind of your total calories, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you're eating a ton, you're going to gain weight. If you're where you need to be with your total calorie intake, it just doesn't have an effect.
Yeah, it's not. You're not going to be eating.
That's not why you're
deficit.
gaining 5, 10,
exactly.
15, 20, pounds.
And then there's this magic switch that a artificial sweetener hits, and then all of a sudden you gain weight.
Yep.
Against the laws of nature, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not happening.
So that's theory 2. Theory 3. Diet soda disrupts your microbiome.
Okay.
So, the thought is, okay, it's going in your stomach. It is a thing. What kind of effects could that have on your microbiome, which then downstream effects towards your appetite, your immune function, and all those things? It's kind of like, the microbiome in general is kind of we're learning a lot. There's a lot unknown. So it's hard to really make definitive statements because it's such a.
And it very well could, um, because they're digesting, the bacteria in our gut do digest, the food that comes in and any substance that comes in. So, there could be an interaction. And a lot of that, like, you may or may not know, but if it maybe upsets your stomach a lot, maybe avoid it. That would just be with any food, if something upsets your stomach, nothing is so good that it's worth it to go through an upset stomach to eat it or drink it.
And now some of the studies and research they have done, there's not much takeaways, but probably the most strong one is if there is effect, it seems that it could be when it's consumed alone. When it's anything they kind of see that stands out that could make a strong case for when it's taken with food, that stuff doesn't seem to be there. So none of it's really conclusive, but again, if you kind of want to hedge your bets with that, just drink it with your meal. Seems, you have other nutrients coming in. So obviously your gut biome, you got all the food coming in to digest. There's a lot of pieces and parts there, which is probably what your body's used to, is to getting a bunch of nutrients, at once.
Not just one thing.
Yeah, not just one thing, exactly. And honestly, when you say that, in general, it's probably best to consume liquids when you eat, because you also, with your food, there's some sodium, there's all your minerals, and everything can kind of be digested and processed together. So, if you want to play it safe, so taking in, so there's the three theories. As you can see, they're really all just theories that are probably not worth sweating. And if you want to kind of enjoy it and feel good about how you're going about it, a good thing to do is limit the amount you drink it with your food. And what was the second one there? Oh, and the hormones. That one's just
not a thing. Don't give that one any time.
Yeah. So eat. So again, don't drink a ton.
Yeah, just moderation.
Yeah, and really treat it almost like a treat, right? I think the best way to look at it is like, hey, especially if you have a sweet tooth, these are a good way to satisfy.
It's a tool. It's a good tool to use.
And then, like we said, there are been studies done on a 150-pound person, an acceptable daily limit with the aspartame, 3,400 milligrams a day. And aspartame's like NutraSweet, Equal, those things. Sucralose, which is Splenda, 340 milligrams a day. And just to give you an idea, so like we said, Coke Zero is 87 milligrams of aspartame. This is interesting. Diet Coke is 187 milligrams of aspartame. I've always wondered the difference between like Coke Zero and Diet Coke.
Me too.
And
I've always like it was the same.
Preferred Coke Zero.
Same.
And
I don't like.
Look, it has half.
Like Diet Coke has an aftertaste that I don't like.
Well,
but Coke Zero doesn't.
And Diet Coke has double the artificial sweetener.
Weird. That seems dumb.
Yeah, most all the sodas have aspartame. Sprite Zero, 75 milligrams of aspartame. So you'd have to drink to even get over the acceptable daily limits. It would be, like we said, 20, 30 diet sodas a day. Hopefully you're not doing that.
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
What has sucralose in it?
Yeah, check that out.
So, Gatorade, the G2 and G Zeros. I know we drank a lot of the Gatorade Zeros. Those have sucralose in them. Mountain Dew. If you're a Mountain Dew drinker,
Do the do.
bro, I haven't had a Mountain Dew in
Mm.
a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, can't do it. Minute Maid, Powerade Zero, flavored waters. So, I mean, a lot of Coke and Pepsi products, basically.
Now let's take it a little sidestep, but same realm is, and I know I enjoy this, when you have like a carbonated drink, it just kind of hits different. What is that? What is the reason that carbonation is so awesome? And it is because it hurts.
That pain.
So the CO2 burns your tongue, kind of like Tabasco.
Same thing as hot sauce.
Exactly, hot foods, and the pain is mild and enjoyable, and it kind of has a little pathway, right? So there's enzymes in your mouth that convert the CO2 into carbonic acid, and people like that pain.
What if you just
we're a glutton.
What if we just drink the acid?
And then an interesting thing is, so because there is that pain, it basically amplifies kind of the signal to your brain. So there's more going on.
It's ramping you up.
Yep. And it makes you feel like your thirst is more quenched because there's essentially more brain activity going to it.
That makes sense.
Attention being paid to it.
Dude, drinking a Sprite Zero, I feel taken care of.
Yeah. Compared to like a water.
Yeah, I feel, but we can do a whole podcast on good water. But dude, yeah, Sprite Zero because of that burn. God, it's just the burn.
Yeah, it just hits right.
I wonder if people that, the people that eat really hot food, like we're talking like got to bring a handkerchief with them everywhere because they just load up. I wonder if they get less enjoyment out of just a carbonated beverage.
Yeah,
like, do you build up a tolerance to it?
Yeah, that would make sense.
That's a sad life, man. That's why I don't eat really spicy food, and I can enjoy my drink.
Yeah.
That makes sense why my tongue feels terrible when I have a Sprite Zero with a hot meal. It's too much. Like the carbonation hits too hard.
It's too much going on. And it shows too, like, why we eat and drink so much beyond just our appetite regulation. And so really that could be, and as we dig in, so with the diet soda, so of course, yes, you do have the artificial sweetener, but now you also have the carbonation factor now layering in, so like
which makes your brain enjoy everything
hit
more.
To your brain. Then you also have the artificial flavorings, right? So that are engineered
to check the boxes.
And then so those kind of flavor enhancers combined with all these other things creates this heightened experience. And for some people, it's just the right amount, satisfies that sweet tooth, you enjoy it.
And you're good.
Now, maybe some people, they start looking elsewhere, it doesn't satisfy them, and then you end up in some chocolate and candies and down a
chips.
Rabbit hole you don't want to go down. So, there's a lot of issues there. Like, well, did you have all that stuff in your house? Was that comforting foods, from your past? And if that is the case, you probably shouldn't drink diet drinks.
Yeah.
But thinking that diet drinks are going to be like this major, like awful thing that, can cause cancer and make you gain weight, the facts just aren't there.
No.
It's that's really just stressing yourself out over nothing. If you're just having one or two a day and it actually helps you stay at a healthy weight or lose weight to get to an ideal body composition, you enjoy it, you should not feel guilty about it.
No.
And you have to remember, like we said earlier, stop trying to create some ultimate perfect
Because there literally isn't one.
Really, the stress that you build up in your head
is way worse.
Is going to affect your digestion and gut biome more than any one diet soda.
Hands down. If you've ever been like anxious or in a really like stressful situation and you just get like.
And again, then let's even look at, like known toxins like alcohol and then all the stuff in cigarettes. Again, they do shorten your life, but also people still live long with them. So, and they pound them every day in copious amounts, and you don't, drop dead right that second.
Yeah.
So, you don't want to apply all this crazy fear mongering to a diet drink.
Yeah.
That literally has no proven thing. It's never killed anyone. And when there's other stuff that most people do on a daily basis that is way more dangerous.
Proven to be dangerous and destroy you. Yeah. Exactly. We're not saying go smoke cigarettes, but you know what we're saying.
Yep.
So just enjoy it. Let it help you. If you find that it does upset your stomach, or you feel off, maybe you get a headache. I don't know. So, something bad accompanies it. Then that's your cue. Maybe I shouldn't have this.
And realize another thing we forgot to touch on: caffeine.
Yeah.
So most negative effects when people are like, "Oh, I was drinking a bunch of diet soda and I stopped and I felt bad. I must have had a hangover to them." Well, that's really just caffeine withdrawals.
Yeah, you're not getting the caffeine anymore.
Coke has like 80 milligrams of caffeine, and you were drinking 10 a day. That's a lot of caffeine. And then you cut them out, you're going to have caffeine withdrawals.
You're going to feel garbage.
So that's the other factor. And so I'll use me. I, again, notice if I drink a ton of carbonation, my stomach, feels funky. Or, I get bloated and stuff like that. Also, I don't do well with caffeine, right? So right there, it helps. I prefer, like I said, the like Gatorade Zeros and things like that because there's no carbonation, there's no caffeine, right? But then I also, I'll have it, it kind of quenches my thirst after a workout, or then even after dinner, it helps. I'll have one with dinner, and it kind of satisfies that sweet tooth without having to add calories. And it's enjoyable.
It does the job.
Right? So it has a small place. In my plan, would it be more perfect to just drink straight up like water that's purified or from the stream, from some little well? Yeah,
probably,
but
there's more pieces to the puzzle than that.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to have this
picture perfect
like Spartan thing. Ultimately, there is a lot of things to navigate with the modern lifestyle, and it's really, for me, it's finding how does all this fit in, where's my leeway.
And pick your battles with things. Like there's bigger rocks to handle than an artificial sweetener. Like your total calories, way more important than one Diet Coke in the grand scheme of things. So focus on the things like that, and then
that are going to make a bigger impact.
Instead of stressing about the small things.
And realize it's not all or nothing.
No.
If you're currently drinking 16 sodas a day, well then, and you switch to 16 diet sodas, well, for one, you just cut out a lot of 2,000 plus calories. So you're probably, that's going to be a good thing. Now, drinking 16 diet sodas a day, that's a lot of caffeine. That's a lot of carbonation, right? So, but then you don't have to go straight to 0. Go to 10. Right? Then go to 9. And then go to 8, and then, hey, maybe eventually you're at a great place where you have 1 or 2 a day, and you know what?
And it keeps you satisfied and you're good. Way better. But it's a process too. Like remembering that as long as you're improving over time with something, you're good. There's always going to be stepping stones to it, and for a lot of people, maybe a diet soda can be a stepping stone too. Going from regular soda to diet soda, and then maybe they decide, I don't want to drink this. I can switch to something else, and maybe they switch to something else.
Yeah.
And that's cool too.
Experiment, you know, and maybe you don't drink diet sodas and you have cravings and you keep going for, it's funny because then what are people really going to eat? Like, maybe you keep eating M&Ms. Maybe you keep eating gummy bears. Well, now we can pick apart those things because, there's food colorings and all this stuff. It's look, just in my opinion, if you replace those with a non-calorie version, it's going to be ideal, right? Or
unless you get those sugar-free gummy bears.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, if you look up the reviews on Amazon, it's basically about people pooping themselves.
Now I gotta see what's in those things.
If you've never looked them up, there's you could find those anywhere. But yeah, the reviews on I think the Haribo sugar-free gummy bears is legit. Like, yeah,
like I should pour myself a diet soda
and dude, just dig in
on a Saturday night.
100%.
Pull up those comments.
You're gonna die.
So yeah, so experiment. Like, find again. You don't have to now all of a sudden be like, oh well, they said it's safe. I'm gonna go have at it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a tool in the toolbox.
Yeah.
So again, if you always remember, like we always preach, this stuff is not all or nothing.
Nope. Never will be.
Progress over perfection. Experiment. Find what works for you. Again, everyone should work towards a majority whole food diet, majority clean water, right? But having a little bit of other stuff, is fine.
Yeah, you got to experience life, and there's just a lot of different obstacles, and it's never going to be perfect. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's all right.
So hopefully that just gives you something to think about. Maybe really what we wanted to do is don't get fear mongered. Don't see these crazy articles and be like, this causes cancer, and now you're like stressing it.
At the end of the day, like, what doesn't cause cancer?
Yeah, and it's such a dynamic thing, right?
Yeah.
It's your it's more than just one thing.
Yeah.
It's your lifestyle,
the sum of all the parts,
your movement, and
your stress,
and your whole diet, and your family history, and your genetics, sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's everything.
If you want to have that Diet Coke,
just go. Just do it.
That's it. And then see, if you feel great, awesome. If you live for that carbonation on your tongue,
yeah.
Now I'm going to be like drinking. I'm going to take that. And what's funny? This explains a lot of times. So for me, when I have like a diet soda or even like a sparkling water, I really only want like the first 2 sips.
Yeah, dude, those are the
like
best.
if say it was some drug, I would be like the dude where I'm strung out, but I just need that first sip.
That's
so
right.
I would have like 74 cans in my house that are all almost full.
Just that one sip.
And I'm chasing that first sip, man. I'm chasing that first sip. You know how I know my wife loves me?
How?
Because most of the time,
do you guys share one?
She drinks a decent amount like of carbonated beverages, and caffeine doesn't bother her, and so she'll drink a Coke Zero at night or sparkling waters, and all I really want is that first sip.
She lets you take it?
She lets me take it, but I also know, it's the best sip, that she wants it too. But she lets me take it, man. I'll be like, let me get that sip. I don't say it like that. I'll be like, can I get that first hit? And what's funny? It's not the caffeine. It's not the artificial sweetener.
Nah,
it's
the burn, bro.
It's the burn, man. Now I know it's that burn.
Chase the burn.
Chase that burn.
Do you like the carbonated waters, right?
Again, so
I don't like
if
those.
they start to get warm at all. So again, I like the first couple sips, but it's the carbonation that I like. I don't mind some of them.
Go to the beach with a 24-pack, but you just pop it for that first
one sip, you just chuck the other. It really depends on the flavor.
Yeah.
We had some that we got from Harris Teeter, like their brand, and there's a black cherry, best one I've ever had. It almost tastes like a cherry. For some reason, it tastes like I was going to say cherry Coke. Well, maybe because it's cherry flavored. But it almost has a cola flavor to it as well. But that one is good, really good. Then we got a Mandarin Orange, same brand.
Nah.
Awful, dude.
Nah. I knew that wasn't going to be good.
I just couldn't drink it.
Yeah.
So the waters are a little more hit and miss. Most of the zero sodas I enjoy.
Yeah, those are, those are
the Coke, the Sprites.
Amazing.
Really all of them.
Dude, all of them. We just got root beer.
Yeah,
dude, that root beer is
the
good.
root beer.
Yeah,
but I kind of treat them again, really, because I don't do a ton of caffeine as treats. So like one a week or a couple a month, I'll have one and I enjoy it.
That's why, dude, all of the ones I drink for the most part are caffeine free. So Sprite, caffeine free. Ginger ale is caffeine free. That root beer is actually caffeine free, and that's really all I would drink. I avoid the caffeine ones.
And in the water game. And I just don't get this because it's too rich for my blood. There's this water called Gerolsteiner from Germany.
It, yeah.
It's like a natural spring water, naturally carbonated. It's like $2.50 a glass.
$2.50. Where are you from, man?
Two fifty.
$2.50. That's about.
I don't know what it is, and there's minerals in there. That's part of it. It just has this flavor, and it's the carbonation. The way it's so good.
Is that the stuff you guys bought back when you were in Cali?
Yeah, because it was
like cases of it.
Yeah, it was somewhere convenient. Or the Trader Joe's we went to had it in the cases.
I remember seeing.
But then I was just drinking so much of it. I mean, think about it. You drink 2 bottles. That's $5 a day.
That's a lot.
That's like my groceries. That's my food. So I just can't bring myself.
Nah.
That's I talked about the contacts and an old one.
Yeah.
My daily contacts. Maybe one day I'll get to a level where I'd start
daily Gersteiner.
a daily Gersteiner.
Gersteiner.
I'm just out here at night popping a Gersteiner and throwing my contacts out like.
Hey, just taking that first sip though.
Yeah.
Not even going farther than that.
Nah. That whole
you got to drink the whole thing.
The Gersteiner, you can put the cap back on and save it. I mean, it gets a little not as good,
but you get like almost the first hit all over again.
You can string it out for a day for sure.
Damn,
super solid.
I didn't like it. Those aren't for me. Carbonated water,
but
it's not my speed.
Yep. And then there's energy drinks. Same thing. Tons of caffeine, carbonation.
Yep.
Artificial sweeteners,
flavors,
heightened flavors. Like they're really everything we talked about.
Like to the max.
Yeah, amped up.
Yep. Yeah, those are, and then there's other things too, other stimulants or whatever you want to call them.
Oh yeah, and they'll put creatine and other amino acids.
Put like ginseng
tyrosine.
And there's a bunch of stuff in those. So yeah, basically everything you can do to like make the experience super stimulating.
And I'll be honest, like I enjoy those too.
Feel good.
A good energy drink, man, it just hits. But like it's all your senses.
Dude, like the Bang energy drinks. Mm-hmm. That's too much caffeine.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I don't drink
300
them.
milligrams,
No, I can't do that. And so for me,
I'm gonna die.
Once I would just I'd maybe have an energy drink once every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, but those Bangs, man.
Actually, if I got a party,
I know.
If I got to stay up past my bedtime, I'm banging.
That's the only way. That's the only way I'd be able to do it. There's no way. 9 o'clock, like time to check out. I mentally check out when that happens. Like if we're out, I don't know, with people. Not that we have been at night very much anymore, but dude, I just hit a point where I'm done.
Mm-hmm. So then
nothing matters.
Reach for that.
And
bang.
I'm like, I just have to go home and go to sleep, and I don't want to talk to anybody.
I feel like that'd be a good commercial. Like you're at a party, everyone's playing Scrabble, and you're on the couch drifting away, and then some, what's that wrestler guy that's like, ugh.
Oh, Macho Man?
Macho Man comes and he hands you a bang, and then you pound it, but it never touched your lips. You just pour it in your mouth, and then all of a sudden you're the life of the party, scrabbling away.
Win Scrabble.
Yep, that's a good commercial.
That is a good commercial.
All right, guys and girls. So give us some feedback. Let us know. Hopefully you find that helpful. We got some, hopefully, great guests coming on in the future.
Yes.
Some of our recent guests everyone loved, and hopefully we can get them back on as well.
We definitely want to have them back. We'll have Kristen on again at some point.
Get old Benji on, talk about feet.
Benji? Mm-hmm. We can get him on to talk about anything. Just get him going.
Yeah, start with feet.
See where it takes us.
Elbows, knees, toes.
He can get going.
All right. That's 77 for you guys.
77. Just drink your Diet Coke.
Mm-hmm.
Just not
actually,
45 of them.
Don't drink your Diet Coke. Drink a Coke Zero.
Drink a Coke Zero. Yeah. I agree.
Diet Coke. If someone offered me a Diet Coke, I would smack them.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they sell it.
Yeah, it's not as good, and it has more artificial sweetener in it. I agree. Go to the Zero.
Zeros is where it's at.
It is.
All right.
See ya.
Holla.
As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.